pro-Palestinian advocates in the light of violent incident. How has reported starvation crisis in Gaza there and linked to Israel's aid blockade? It has influenced public sentiment or not? We will discuss all that and much more with Richard Benkin. He is American human rights activist, journalist, writer, and lecturer. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Benkin. First of all, let's begin by asking you, how do you see this particular incident today? Well, clearly something is not solved by diplomacy.
Thank you very much for having me on. The incident that happened in Washington, I don't think it's going to change anything because these things happen regularly. My heart goes out to the victims and their families. We all pray for them. And U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio called this, by the way, a brazen act of cowardly anti-Semitic violence. And I think that's something that Jews like me all over the world, even though we're not Israeli, we deal with it all the time. It's not just against Israel, but there really is an element of anti-Semitism in so many of these things.
So if we ask what steps can be taken so that a thing of this kind should not be repeated, well, security will definitely will be heightened on these places. But what apart from that do you see can avoid these steps in future?
Yeah, you know what? That's a great question. And I'll tell you why. Because I think the best way to prevent such things is for the rest of the world to get on board and recognize that there is absolutely no justification for that. I don't care what someone's political views are, there's no justification for that. And while there might be condemnations here and there at times, so many of the countries in the world are willing to look the other way while people are gunned down like this because it's about Israel. And of course, the coverage of Israel is always biased. So I think, again, if they would get on board, if everyone would recognize it and take action for the crime that it is, then perhaps these things will stop because people will know there are consequences to their evil actions.
Do you think there is some more to it than meets the eye? Because even after the steps taken over the last few months, well, we saw Donald Trump, when he was taking charge, he said that he will be bringing Israel to a negotiating table. Lots of steps would have been taken, should have been taken. Those steps did not work. And that's why we are seeing crises like this or incidents like these.
No, I respectfully have to disagree with you. And I'll tell you why. Since the beginning of this conflict, which goes back even before the birth of the State of Israel, there have been many factions on the other side, including nations for times, and even today with Iran, for instance, who had maximalist demands that include the dissolution of Israel. They will not accept a Jewish homeland in the Middle East. And I think that no matter what kind of negotiations occur or don't occur, until that is eradicated, there won't be an end to the conflict. And I think in this particular case, at the very least, we have to see the complete elimination of Hamas, and they're having absolutely no involvement in the governance of Gaza or any other place. I really don't think there's any there's any alternative. You just have to get rid of the bad guys. Same as the terrorists who will not accept India or India involvement in Kashmir. You can't change the conflict until you get rid of them.
Well, right. And while again coming to the comparison you draw between India, Pakistan, and Israel, Gaza, well, India has also taken steps to stop terrorists from attacking its people on its own soil. So, how do you see this particular steps India has taken? We have well, PM has been saying that we have delivered justice to Pakistan.
Actually, I've been coming to Israel. I've been coming to India regularly for a long time, and I remember how prior to Prime Minister Modi, the government of India just would not take the strong action necessary when it was attacked, and We're seeing that now, and I think that just you have to keep doing that. It has to be consistent. But again, I think the conflict will only end when people on the other side recognize that you just can't base things in hate, and you can never have peace if one side says we're only going to allow peace when there's ethnic cleansing of the people in the nation, or when that nation no longer exists, such as we're seeing with regard to Israel and with regard to India, because we know there are many terrorist groups in South Asia whose goal is to dismember India, perhaps even a return of the Mughal Empire. But certainly they do not accept India's legitimacy as a state, and it's the same thing that Israel faces in the Middle East.
All right, thank you very much for joining us this evening in India and bringing us all these important details and perspective on this important story. And
if you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.